Episode 40. Oh, shit, people. Man, we're getting up there, aren't we? We're almost at a year. Episode 40. Had so many great people on here. So excited. Man, we got a good one today, as usual. Another great one. I'm usually in here with writers and whatnot. We're talking about story and everything. Tonight, I have a writer-artist. So great. We get to talk about art. We get to do that kind of thing. I do want to bring something up, though. I am going to, not really to my own horn, though, but I'm going to talk about some Kickstarters that I'm a part of real quick, just as we're kind of streaming up and getting ready to go. Oh, first off, I got to do this. I got to make sure that our audience is there. Make it public. Guys, if you want to share it around, you want to talk, please, by all means. Yeah, Brian, it's not a show without you, buddy. All right, cool. I'm going to talk about a couple of Kickstarters I'm a part of right now. I'm very excited about. You know me, as an editor, I'm always working. I always have stuff going on, so I'd love to talk about these. The first one is Tales from the Collective. I'd love for you guys to go check out Tales from the Collective. It's an anthology from a... Here's the cool thing about it. There's lots of anthologies out there, but this is an anthology from a comic shop that heavily supports indie comics. So by buying this, you are supporting a comic or a comic company, comic store that supports you and your work. So get out there, check Tales of the Collective. They've got amazing pieces by John Hedrick, by Travis Gibb, by David Galliano, by my own Wendy Gale. You know, it's just I got to edit I think 3 out of the 5 pieces on there. So I know that it's good stuff. I know it's really just amazing work. I think you guys would love it. Please check that one out to start. And then today, Jess came up on Kickstarter, already making waves and blowing up. Making waves is funny because it's based on a world that's mostly water and where they fight for air. That's Expired. Check that out. That's Travis Gibb at his best. He's got a new series out there making it happen. Very excited to finally be on a book. He and I working together. I'm editing for him. It's been a lot of fun, man. Usually it's him and his wife, and this is the one where he's like, let me try Chuck one time. So the next one, Crusade of Dracula. This is issue 3 of 3. This is the final one. This is a really cool one to check out. If you love Hammer horror, you love Dracula. This goes back to the original. Before, Bram Stoker, before Universal Studios, before all that kind of shit got their fangs into it. This is the original Vlad Tepes Dracula III. Check it out. Hey, Niobe, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, dude. And you've got a Kickstarter too, right? Feel free to show your Kickstarter, man. Feel free to throw that thing up there. So it's real. It basically it goes into the man's real history, the actual Vlad Tepes, and it also goes into real World War I history. It's really interesting. It's also a lot of fun. I think you guys would love to check it out. So please do that for me. And the final one, my boy Braden. He is my Fortnite master, the guy I love to hang out with the most while playing video games. He's got a great, hey, I didn't completely get away. Yes! I'm glad you didn't, hon, and I'm so glad to have you here. Much love to you. Anybody who's giving you a problem, let me know. I'll kick their asses. Much love, girl. Here we go. Niobe is happening. 4 days left. Give him some love, man. Not like he hasn't already gotten a lot. Congratulations, dude. Over 300 backers. You're cute again. Keep it up. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. And then, yeah, like I said, Sever is happening. It is an LGBTQ horror metal-inspired book. Really great. So much love. I would love for you guys to check out all of those ones. That's Sever. Cool. Well, you know what? We got so many people here. I have an amazing guest in Mark May hanging out in the background. And you know what? This dude is so excited, I'm sure, to come out here and chat with all you guys and get to your questions that I don't think I can hold them back anymore. So why don't we go straight in and make this happen? You know what time it is.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck because I care.
Mr. Mark Mary, what's going on, buddy?
That was pretty funny.
Thanks, man. You know what? I remember when I was on your show, you had a really nice, like, solid metal opening. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We both kind of have that going on together.
Oh, yeah, man. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing great, dude. How about yourself?
Never better, brother. Never better.
Good, man.
Working, you know?
Okay, Valerie Pierce, I do not have a link for that. I'm sorry. And yes, it is LGBTQ. It's absolutely amazing. I think you'd enjoy it. If you go to Kickstarter right now and just look up Severed, you will find it. I'm sorry I don't have anything, but yeah, I think you'll absolutely love it. Let me know if you're able to find it. Oh yeah, Andrew Frey's in the house. Gangstas.
What up, Frey?
I know, right? He's such a good fucking dude. Oh man. Wait. What did they say? Wait, is Mark May a fellow? He's seeing the Red Sox hat, so he's wondering if you're a fellow masshole.
Not from Massachusetts, from Alabama originally. Braves fan in the beginning, but 2004 happened, and I jumped on the bandwagon with a lot of people, and have been there since. That's the easiest way to answer it, guys. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like that's kind of what happened. I love that whole Johnny Damon, Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez lineup. I was all about that team, and so that's what got me into it.
But being in Alabama, and now aren't you in Oklahoma now?
Colorado, actually. I've lived here since I was 19 years old.
Oh, okay. So you guys, Colorado's got a baseball team, right?
Yeah, we got the Rockies. They played the Red Sox in the World Series a few years back and got slaughtered, like swept by the Red Sox.
Were you the only guy out there in your neighborhood wearing the Sox hat and they were getting all pissed off?
No. There's mostly transplants out here in Colorado. It feels
okay.
That. So like half the population might have been natives or was born here or something like that. You got to be here for more than 15 years to be considered a native. I have, so I'm pretty partial to Colorado these days over Alabama, even though I still go back sometimes to visit just to eat cheeseburgers. But that's about it. They got one place out there called Milo's, and they sell their sweet tea across the nation now. But the cheeseburgers are only there. They're only.
Wait. So Milo's, because we get Milo's tea every day. I got Milo's tea in my fridge right now. So that's from a restaurant near you.
That is from Birmingham, Alabama. They will not go south of Montgomery, and they will not go north of Huntsville. It is a one chain of a burger joint. And it is the best burger you will ever have in your entire life. And there's a reason. Like, they won't branch out. They have a sauce that's like nobody else's, man. It's a brown sauce, and I can't describe it to you because it's like no other sauce known to man. Like, it's not a barbecue. It's not an A1. I don't know how to describe the sauce, but it's amazing, man. But you got to go out there sometime. Just visit Alabama once, just so you can go to Milo's. I've driven through it to get to Florida from Texas, but now you've given me every reason to stop. My favorite part of the drive, the best food tunnel is in Alabama. Like, period. Like, all the best places. Italian food, Main Street Italian Bistro in Springville. It's a little joint in the country, man. Nobody even has heard of it. It's the best Italian food there is on the planet. Oh shit, dude! And the seafood, you just can't beat it, man. It's good stuff. Talking about food, we could talk about food all day, Chuck. We could. Two big boys with big beards. Oh yeah, hell yeah, we could. Wendy Gale is bringing the love for all these different Kickstarters. I don't know which one's which, but thank you, baby. You're absolutely amazing. Jeff Weber's ready for Sever. Thank you, buddy. Do you have? So something about Silent Mayhem. We're gonna go back. She is on point with the Kickstarters. Thanks, Jeff. We're going to go back and stuff and get to your origins and stuff. Do you have anything going on right now that's live? I don't have anything live right now, but the next thing that's coming up is the Hellbringer's trade paperback. So we're going to collect the first 5 issues that we did since August of 2020. So that, and it actually might have Hellbringer 0 from 2015 in it too. So we've been putting all this together. I've just now got the edits done today for Ties That Bind Us, which was the last Kickstarter that we just did. So we are going to print probably tomorrow, which is amazing feeling, you know what I mean? Or sometime by the end of the week. And so that means, like with this wide open, let's say that I get the books in the next couple of weeks, I'm able to ship them, you know, we could probably launch the trade paperback Kickstarter in the next month or two. You know what I mean? And that would be great because I need that extra money to be able to put out Jengar #2. So, and then we also have Valak, the Sorcerer's Revenge, coming up.
Oh,
so that's going to be a huge one in December.
That's a new title, right?
The new title, yes. It ties in with Hellbringers for this chapter. Valak makes his first appearance in The Ties That Bind Us. So if you guys picked up that book, way to go, you guys, because you're getting the first appearance of this dude, and he's getting his first solo title right now.
Well, that's badass, dude.
Yeah, not keeping you guys waiting. You guys are getting it. It's so cool. I can't wait to tell you guys more about it, but I'll tell you right now, we are working with all these people from Hawaii that I met in person from Amazing Hawaii Comic-Con, which is a Jimmy J show. Check out Jimmy J shows. He's the man. And here's the thing. They all live in Hawaii, Red Akmore, on food. We got them on for the interiors. They're both making their big interior debut kind of with this book. So I'm super excited with those two. Going to bring on Mog Park for a cover. I'm going to do a cover. I mean, I don't know who else I'm going to bring on. We'll see, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to keep the budget a little lower on this one, just in case. Because you never know with these side projects, like Hellpug. You know what I mean? Hellpug was one of those ones that kind of came at a time where I don't think anybody knew like what to expect. It was a cartoon comedy book in the midst of what I had been doing with Hellbringers. And they're like, wait, why would he take it in this direction? And you know what I had in my head that whole time? There was a movie like in the 80s that like started like live action, and I forgot the name of it. I know this is going to sound horrible. And then it like went into animation. But you got to remember, this movie was out when I was like 2 years old. And it was kind of a rated R movie, and I forgot the name of it. I know somebody in the comments knows the name of this movie. But in my head, I kind of had that, like the serious with the not so serious. You know what I mean? Yeah. And to have a chapter just spin like that, so you guys aren't like, oh my God, this guy's is like taking devil worship to a new like level. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, guys, you got to read this whole thing, and you got to wait. You know what I mean? You just got to wait. You got to see the ending through. So back to the Valak story. The reason it's so cool is because it ties into the next chapter. We get to find out a little bit more about this guy as the next chapter for Hellbringers comes out next year in 2022. And then Jengar will probably be the first chapter that comes out, or second chapter that comes out in the second arc, because Valak will be the first chapter in the second arc. So,
sweet.
Dude, we're ready to roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I can feel it.
I'm excited. Like I'm like 100-0 right now because I've been writing a script all day, and the script, man, doing the research on this stuff is killer because I love history and I love science, and when I combine them together, it makes a killer script. You know what I mean? And so getting to play in that realm is just fantastic. You know?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm having fun right now, and that's the good thing. Like you want to be in this position to where you're doing this job and you're having a good time doing it, because it shows if you're not. And right now, man, this is the most fun I've ever had because my mind won't turn off. It just keeps going, like chapter after chapter after chapter. We could do this all day. You know what I'm saying? And I want to. It's a matter of, you know, getting the funds to be able to do it. So I gotta be smart and not, you know, put out so many Kickstarters next year and try to do this a little smarter. You know what I mean?
It's all about expenses.
It is. And there's other titles I want to do besides Hellbringers. You know what I mean? Like we've got other titles in my head that I know would work out well on paper. And I think we could, you know, play around with it, you know, just to put it out there and give it a chance. Because you know how comics are. You could put out 10, 9 are great, and then the one that isn't so great could be the one that goes on to be the greatest thing ever in your mind. You know what I mean? Because in a creator's mind, the thing that he puts out, and he thinks is the greatest, might not be the one thing that eventually gets picked to be the popular thing someday. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen it all the time. Like, you'll ask them, these creators for Marvel out there, the things that they created, they really cherish, over, those characters they created for Marvel over, like, saying working for the bigger ones. You know what I mean? Because they got to create it. It's their babies. So
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Dude, we got so many people in here. Jerome Gagnon is here. What's up, Jerome? Sarah says she's looking forward to working a booth at a convention in Southern Illinois. At the same time you're working that one, I'll be in Dallas doing Fan Expo. So, yeah, I feel ya.
Congrats on Fan Expo, man. That'll be a fun show.
Thank you,
Dallas
homie.
Fan
Yeah, no,
Expo
I'm so excited.
show,
well, I'll finally you mentioned her earlier, I'm finally going to get to hang out with and meet up with Mog. We're going to go for dinner, me, Mog, Chris Mad, her husband Mel, of course. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Mel's a really cool dude, man. He's so down to earth, and I owe him a lot because I'm pretty sure that he's the reason me and Mog worked together to begin with when we did the card set back in the day. So you're the man, Mel.
Sweet, absolutely. Much love to Mel. Now let's take it back. We have some questions happening. We'll get back to that, I promise, homies. First, this is how I usually like to start it, and that is, what is your origin story as both a comic fan and a comic creator?
Well, it all started back in the second grade. See, we had an art contest, and it was at my school, and they didn't tell me that it was going to be entered into the state fair. And I came in second place in the state fair, in the Alabama State Fair, ladies and gentlemen, drawing a picture of Godzilla destroying my school when I really should have drew him destroying the judge because she doesn't know shit. But that's all right. So, and then Fleer Ultra Marvel cards, those old cards from back in the day. That got me really into the characters because I really love to read the back of them, and I could take them to school with me and just sneak them in my pocket and pull them out anytime I was bored listening to the teacher. I just learned about who the Marvel character was, their powers, what their little numbers were, just in case they had those little numbers beside them, because that always told you like how powerful they were. And then you do the
intelligence, strength. Yeah, man, I remember that.
Even as a kid. And don't think that didn't influence the Hellbringers cards, because it did a lot. But here's the thing is, as a kid, I remember distinctly, even doing the math back then to see who would beat who, you know what I mean, in a fight. And some of them you just don't agree with. You're like, no, that would never happen. You know what I mean? Or Spider-Man beats everybody. Come on. You know what I mean? God, some of those were crazy. What's up, Wendy?
The beautiful, amazing Wendy Steenshainer. Very excited. We got some stuff going down with Wendy, actually.
I got some today.
I got to send her a script recently, and my wife is hard at work on something, so I'm very, very excited. Love the opportunity to be a part of the Naughty Fairies family. So, yeah, much love to her.
That'd be awesome.
So what about as a creator then?
So, as I went to the comic store all the time as a kid too, and I always bought comics as a kid. And then in Alabama, they had this class when I was a kid that you could take that was comic drawing. And so, I would draw as a 9-year-old with all these 14 and 15-year-olds that were in this thing, and the shit you learn as a 9-year-old at that moment, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it was fun, man. You know what I mean? It was one of those learning moments because you learned how to draw so fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely.
I had art in college, art appreciation, art history, stuff like that. Learned all about different painting techniques, pencil techniques, and didn't really pick it up again until I was 28 years old. So I'm 35 right now. So I really thought at a time in my life, I was like, man, like this sucks. Like I can't figure out what I want to do. Like this is as far as I'm getting with my job. You know what I mean? Like I was like, well, if that's the way this is going to work, you know, I've got to find something I like. You know what I mean? To do. And so that's what I did basically. And I found art, and you know, I started practicing, and I've been practicing since. And I really enjoy it. And you know, I feel like I'm nowhere close to being a master. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely learned a lot in the past 7 years that I've been drawing, and I've got a long way to go. And you know, some of these guys have been doing it for 35 years, and you know, they're just getting seen in some places. You know, and that's, you think about how sad that is sometimes. You know, because of how great they are. But like like I think I'm lucky. I think I've been really lucky so far. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the thing is that, you know, sometimes the fact of the matter is, you know, there's incredibly talented people who don't get seen. And then there's people who maybe aren't as talented who get all the love. And it really, you know, a lot of it is how we market ourselves, how we show ourselves off, who we know. Like, all of that shit matters. Also, and something that people forget all the time, I've seen tons of artists out there who put out fucking amazing work, but they're not getting any work. And you're like, why the fuck are they not getting work? And then you work with them. You get a page every 2 months, and you go, oh, that's why they're not getting any fucking work. Oh, okay, all right. I wish somebody would have fucking warned me.
Absolutely.
Wendy says she loves your art.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to take you and I out just for a second so we can show off some of these amazing pieces. So let me just share how this is always fun to do these layouts. Yeah, here we go. Oh, what? Okay. I'm going to try this real quick.
Hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to be drawing while we're on the stream too. Is that okay?
Yeah, by all means. Yeah, go ahead, dude. Yeah, please do.
That's great, man.
I'm going to see. You know what? I'll add them to my overlay. Here we go. All right, so let's try this then. All right? Maybe this will work. Yeah, okay, that's a little better. We got that going on. I love this piece, by the way. Is this from Jengar?
Oh, give me 1 second, my friend. Hold on.
No, you're good.
Let's see. Yes, sir. That is that's the Jengar cover. That is my favorite piece of artwork, and I definitely think I put my most effort, I guess you could say, into that piece that I've probably put into any other piece. I really like the background, and then also Sanju. His colors are the greatest colors in the world. I always like to tell people, and you people can quote me on this from now till forever. Sanju is 80% of my work, and I am 20% of it. He is that good, y'all. Okay, and that's always going to be a forever thing. So,
well, so it's funny that you're working right now. You're penciling. Sammy comes in and he says, "What art media are you most comfortable with?"
Honestly, it is pencils, but it's oil paint. I've recently discovered a landscape oil paint, and I do it okay. You know, I watched a lot of Bob Ross videos, and it really, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it really helps with a lot of different things. But I really, you know, once I feel like I'm comfortable, you know, penciling and also oil painting the actual piece, you know what I mean? I think that's when I'll start to feel more comfortable in my artist skin, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah.
But inking, you know, I can ink, and you know, people say I do it okay. I mean, that was something I learned in college, was how to ink darker pieces, you know, And they even used to bring in live models and let us just sit there and ink them without pencil. Our guy was really big on charcoal and darkness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he would teach us charcoal and stuff.
That's the annoying thing about being a writer, is that we don't get any nude models. That I never got that in my classes. That sucked, because I'm not an artist. I enjoy it, but I don't have the passion for it. But I would take up art just for the nude models.
It was something. Like the first time it was happening, I was 18 years old, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Right.
You're like, what is going on? And then basically, they you're drawing them, and it turns out like you can learn form and stuff so much better, like just watching them. You know. But
here's another sweet piece you did. This is cool. I love this kind of. This is Todd McFarlane.
This is Amazing Spider-Man 300 homage to Mr. Todd McFarlane, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first appearance of Venom is so popular for this cover, and it seems like every publisher like homages it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why don't we just get it out of the way, so nobody's ever asking for it again? And here's the other thing is Legends Fresno. That's all they do for their covers. So if you've ever seen any of the Legends Fresno retailer comic books, they do nothing but Amazing Spider-Man 300 homages. And Todd Knock used to do the ones back in the day of them.
Really?
Yeah. So I wasn't going to tell them no, you know what I mean? I wanted to be in that category with those guys as well, because I thought that would be, huge.
What do we got going on? Oh, Sarah says she loves watching people draw. Danny's already loving what you're doing. He's loving your art. They love the detail. I think we're talking about the Jengar piece, the detail in the clothing and environment. Sarah says she'd sport that Jengar outfit. We might hold you up to that, hun. We might get you to cosplay that at a show. So don't say it, or else we'll ask. Wendy says he's drawing your favorite character. Yes, he is. And I didn't tell him that was my favorite character either. So that's pretty fucking great. I'm a massive Wolvie fan, so I love that you went straight there.
Let's see how it goes. I might erase the whole thing.
Right? That's the nice thing about pencil, right?
Yep.
Brian Manel came in with a good question. He said, are there any specific parts or moments of history you love to pull from your stories? Or maybe time periods?
Absolutely. So it's all of them, guys. So if you've ever read a Hellbringer's book, or if you've played the card game, you guys will understand that I went to college for history. I love history. And I am such a nerd that on my off time, guys, when I'm not sitting here writing, I'm watching the History Channel. That's how sad it is. You know what I mean?
Well, and don't you have a day job right now that has to do with history?
I do. So the cool thing is about doing the dinosaur books and stuff like that right now is I'm actually working for a place that does fossil cells and gem and mineral cells. So it's kind of cool. Like a couple days ago, in the office, they had a piece that they didn't know what it was for teeth, and I was like, man, those are either orodont teeth or they're woolly rhino teeth, and they turned out to be woolly rhino teeth. So that was kind of cool. You know what I mean? And I ended up getting one of those this past weekend up in Canyon City for like $10, which is okay. You know what I mean? But I got a ton of amber that I brought home with me just out of these chunk piles that this guy was selling for like, $20 a pound. And I got like 3 pounds of it. And like some of these bigger pieces are worth like $600. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So amber was kind of one of the first monetary sources back in the day that people used before coins. So coins haven't been around very long. Coins have only been around since like the 6th century BC. So when you sit there and you think about it, amber was the source of, like money for years, way
Yeah.
before that. And you're talking thousands of years before money. And then you think about the invention of money and where, civilization has come since then, and you look at who we are now, and that's not too long ago, in the blip that is time. You know what I mean? You look back and you think about, what did they do 5,000 years before that period of time? You know what I mean? Like, what was life like back then? And then you look even further, they say humans, us, are probably 7 million years old, or somewhere in between that time period, right?
Yeah.
So you sit there and you look at the oldest fossil on Earth, and the oldest fossil on Earth is a stromatolite, and it's 350 to 650 billion years old.
Yeah.
Wait. Is that right? No, that's not right. Excuse me.
You mean million?
Yeah, no. It's 3 billion years old.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 billion years old. That's what it is. So you look at, an organism like that dominated the planet for so long before, we even came about. Like, we're not even supposed to be here. You know what I mean? I mean, there's no other way to put it. And, the incredible things that we get to do while we're here is kind of neat because, we might not be here for long if another asteroid hits or something like that, if you think about it. Or, Yellowstone blows up half the country, which all these things can happen, within the next 200 years. And you think about how cool is it that we get to be, the thing that walked the planet, and got to like make art or make movies or leave behind, all these different cool things that we've done, that's the daily things I think about while I do this. And he asked what my favorite part of history is to pull from, and it's definitely anything Roman is probably the best. Got a lot of different stories within Roman emperors. I mean, you can look back at some crazy stuff. I'll give you an example. Like Nero. Nero is one of the characters that we pulled for the Hellbringer set, and that's because Nero was kind of emperor that did whatever he wanted to do. He was a crazed asshole at one point, but he was made that way. And they kind of painted him as a horrible person after they took power from him and killed him. You know what I mean? And then you look at somebody like Elagabus, which if you go and you look that up right now, guys, that is one of the craziest Roman stories you're ever going to hear of. The emperor, like he did some crazy stuff. So you should check that one out. And then if you're really looking for something else that's cool, like Valak's going to be cool because we're pulling from Hawaiian culture and Hawaiian history. And I did a ton of research on that today. And while I was learning about it, because I know a lot of people don't know about it, it is insane, the culture and history and mythology behind Hawaiian culture. And I can't wait to share it all with you guys in Valak. It's going to be a lot of fun. But also Asian culture and their history. A lot of people don't know about the Three Kingdoms period in China and stuff like that. And that really is, that's one of those movies that need to be made. And so, hate to talk your ears off, guys. I'm a huge nerd.
No, I think that's great. And I love the history of it and whatnot. Sarah came in and she said, oil pieces take me back, going back to you talking about oil painting. Her grandfather used to do oil, and he literally did his art till the day he died. And so that is pastor, and that's beautiful. That's a really nice memory for you to have, hon.
That's awesome.
Sorry. I had to catch my breath there. What else do we have? Jeff Weber says, who says writers can't have nude models? We can, but it's much harder to get them. Yeah, definitely for reference, my friend. Even Brian Manel says, watching people draw feels calming to me. It is kind of calming, isn't it? Do you feel judged when you're drawing, or are you just able to kind of zone past that and just do it?
Honestly, I've got to the point to where, you just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to be rude, guys. It's one of those things. Like, when I first started, a lot of people don't know this about me. I used to put my work on Reddit, and that was where I shared my artwork as a beginner. And so my stuff was not good in the beginning, and I see it on eBay a lot, and people sell it for cheap. And I'm like, man, I feel bad for the people trying to sell this because I drew that back in 2015. You know what I mean? The day I started. You know what I'm saying? And I sit there and I look back on some of the pieces and I hate them. You know what I mean? Because I just don't like them. But when it comes to Reddit, like I was judged pretty harshly, man. Like you can't get judged any harsher, really. So I had the worst critics you could possibly imagine, and they would tell me how bad my art sucked every day, and I started to listen to some of them, and I started to see what they were talking about, even with the negative reviews, and you could see, man, like they were right. You know what I mean? So when you start to notice stuff like that, or you start to work with a professional like Neil Adams has revealed my portfolio 3 times, like those first 2 times were hard, dude. But you got to endure the hard, and you got to get better, and drawing in front of you guys now after all the shit that I've done already is just cake. You know what I mean?
Bet. Good. Brian says, do you sometimes have music in the background while drawing?
Yes. So I've got tons of favorites. Pink Floyd is my all-time favorite to draw to, guys. So if you're looking to focus, you need a little focus music. You throw on that Pink Floyd. If you're on a state that has marijuana legalized, you enjoy some of that as well while you're listening to it. It's some of the best drawing you could possibly do in your life, and it's calming. So, and I really recommend painting with that too, because that could really change your life a little bit. So another thing, let's see, another music that I like is Adrian Von Ziegler. So you guys will hear him on my show sometime, or my Kickstarters for my Kickstarter videos. Adrian Von Ziegler is one of my favorite composers. I think he's amazing. He gave me special permission to use his music for the project, which, coming from him was like, I don't know how to describe it. Like imagine one of your favorite composers that you listen to for at least 2 or 3 years, or, musicians was like, yeah, you can use my music for your comic book.
Right.
Go for it. You know what I mean? Like it was big, dude. But then I started reaching out and getting my own musicians to do my own music for Hellbringers. So that's been kind of fun too, man. Like a lot of people don't know that as well. Like I've gone into like writing music now, like because we write the songs that come out for the Hellbringer soundtrack, like, and producing
your musical too. As well.
Yeah,
that's very annoying. That you're a good artist, that you're a solid writer, and you can write music too. That's really fucking annoying, dude.
Oh no. Okay. So just so you know, I can't write the music for it. I am not writing the music.
Okay.
But I do have to edit and master it and stuff like that, because I make all the movies and stuff for our campaigns. I make all the movies for YouTube. So that's I mean, we wear a lot of hats as creators, man, and we get into a lot of things and we get bored with a lot of things, especially if you have ADHD the way I do, and you want to add stuff to your repertoire that you can, I mean, you'll use all this while you're doing this comic stuff,
Yeah. Yep, I have a couple guys. I actually have someone working on one for Belial right now. And he, sent him the books and just went, like what kind of inspires you, and played around. And so, yeah, he's got some really cool shit happening. So yeah, I love that kind of stuff. And I love being able to blend the different mediums together. So I totally feel you there. Sarah says she did a naked snow angel for $10. All right. What's your PayPal? How do we throw you another $10? She says, I'm so pale that pretty much all that showed up was my dark hair. That's fucking funny. Wendy says, if you like Roman history, I'm assuming you've read books. Have you ever read The Lightbearer by Donna Gillespie? It's a historical fantasy heavily pulling from Roman and Germanic history.
I haven't, but let me ask you a question. Is it about Queen Boudica?
No, it's not. It's basically about one of the no. Wendy's just shaking her head, so I'm wrong. Oh, she's saying okay, yeah. It's not about Queen Boudica. It's actually about a woman who was kidnapped from the Celtic people when the Romans headed north, and she's basically brought back, and she ends up becoming a wife or whatever to a gladiator under one of the Caesars.
Oh wow, that sounds awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really good. It's very historically accurate, so you really go into the practices of the Romans and the practices of the Celts at that time. It's really interesting, actually. I learned an awful lot from that. It made me a worse Christian because I was able to learn a lot of the Christian the bullshit that came in and that they did to kind of screw over the Celts. So
right. Yeah, you got to think they've used shit like that forever, and it's just. That's Hellbringers goes a little into that in the later issues. We're just getting started.
Right?
Nobody's going to see any of this stuff coming. You know what I mean? It's going to be just a slap in the face right when it hits. It's just going to be that it's 20 years from now. You know what I mean? That's what kind of sucks.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna edit Elfie. He says, I like your style. Good. I like his style too. Your realistic work, by the way, like when you do photorealistic work, I love it. That's just beautifully amazing stuff. I really do enjoy it a lot.
Thanks, man. It usually, as you can see, like pieces that I do like this take like 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah. If not, this one really could have been 5 minutes. But the thing is I talked a lot of the time and you didn't see me drawing. You know what I mean?
You got the time. Why not? He said, I know I'm nobody, but I like your style. Dude, you are somebody. Stop saying that. Don't start your stuff so negatively. You like his style, and that's great.
You know what? Is that Alfie?
That is Elfie.
Oh, listen. Here, let me tell you this. So, I'll come back for just a second. Coming back.
You got this coming, Elfie. He says thanks already, but yeah, you got this coming. You need to hear this.
Okay, so let me tell you a little story about me. Okay. So when I first started doing this, I was nobody. Like nobody. All right. And to the point to where like I was ignored when people would try to like if I try to talk to anybody to try to get like advice or anything. A lot of people like didn't want to help, or they found like me as a threat or something like that, and they just didn't want anything to do with it. And this can happen to anybody. Okay, this can happen to you, this can happen to me, this can happen to Chuck, but here's the thing is I didn't stop. You know what I mean? And as bad as it sucked every day, and trust me, it fucking did. And sometimes it still does. Every day. You know what I mean? You can't let other people affect you and your work and what you want to do with your life. Because the truth is all that you care about and want to do with your life in this life is all that matters. It's not what anybody else thinks. It's not what anybody else does or judges you on. Or your art. All you have to do is just keep going. Just keep showing people your art, and eventually people are going to either love it or they're going to hate it. And you know what's crazy? people that still get their art hated on are usually the most popular ones in the end because people remember their names. All right? So don't forget that. And here's the other thing is, just really don't get down on yourself, because a lot of people get down on themselves if they don't get a lot of likes on their art piece, if they don't get a lot of feedback on their books. Writers will get sad if they don't hear, good things about the interiors. And here's another thing is, being a cover artist, you're exposing yourself to the world to judge your artwork, and some of us do it for free sometimes just so we can get our names out there, even at a level of being a publisher like me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes all you want to do is get it out there just so you can, have some kind of legacy. So think of it like this. If you're doing it for the reason of fun, go have fun. If you're doing it for the reason of legacy, go gain your legacy, but don't give up in between, because that'll be part of your legacy. Okay? And you need to remember that. All right? We only have a short time on this planet to give a fuck what anybody else thinks about us as a whole, and an individual. What makes you an individual makes you an individual, and that's something a lot of us forget these days. You know what I mean? So remember that, and dude, remember, fuck everybody else. Fuck them. Do this for you.
Fuck them all. Absolutely. I feel you, man. Yeah, no, it's true. See? Healthy says true. Good. Yeah. Honestly, dude, the other part of it is that, it's bad enough that people will shit on you. And it will happen to all of us. If you get anywhere, people will certainly shit on you. You don't need to fucking help them. Okay? So stop shitting on yourself, because you're only making it worse, because now you're getting it from two sides. Okay? And the people who love what you do have a hard time loving what you do when you say, I suck. Because then they feel like, well, man, he's not going to listen to me anyways. What's the point? You're going to stop hearing that. If you feel like you suck, that's on you, and that's something you need to work through. But you don't need to tell yourself and everybody else that, because then the few people who are on your side are going to feel outnumbered. Just a sec, I have to sneeze. No, it's stuck. It's not fucking coming. But yeah, man, very good advice, Mark. Wendy was dead on. That was exactly what needed to be said.
I mean, like, look at this. Like, look at this, Alfie. Like, this Wolverine kind of looks like shit right now. You know what I mean? But if I didn't say that myself and point it out to you guys, you might still be having a good time watching this, thinking this is a masterpiece. But right? Honestly, you know what I mean? Like, it's about perception, man. It's about how people look at you and how they look at your art. And dude, like, don't think I'm not preaching, to the choir here, because like I even need to take this advice for myself sometimes. You know what I mean? Because I get down on myself sometimes too, man. So it just, what we told you tonight is going to help you so much if you just, and that's everybody out there listening, like, just, don't worry about anybody else in this industry. Like, worry about what you're doing, and, just do what you do, and good things will happen. Yeah. Like Hellbringers did not come from me worrying about somebody else and what they thought. You know what I mean? Because if it did, trust me, we wouldn't have been in Fort Worth, Texas, trying to sell them to, the people that just got out of church Sunday afternoon. So, right. You understand what I'm saying?
And as I'm sure you can agree, because you and I both have hell books, trying to sell a hell book in fucking Texas is not easy.
Nope.
It's a little easier to find your audience and find the people that will buy it, but The average person in Texas is not trying to buy a hell book.
Well, you know what? And here's the great thing is when we were there, we didn't do bad. We didn't do bad at all.
Yeah,
and I think I would love to go back and do another one, in Texas sometime. It's just,
it's travel. It's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Colorado to, I think Fort Worth was like 12 hours. So, and we drove, so we didn't fly. Because, you got to take your books and stuff. And logistics now is completely different from being, a con artist, which is what, we call ourselves on the convention scene, as opposed to, now being a publisher where you got to take short boxes of books and shit all over the place. You know what I mean? It's completely different.
Yeah. That's me and a buddy. We're doing Emerald City in December, and so we're gonna drive. That's a fucking 33-hour drive, but it was so much cheaper to just say, "Fuck it, let's drive the 33 hours."
Yeah.
Than to have to fly all of our stuff across the country.
Like I don't care what anybody says. Road trips are a great time, man. So that's one thing I always try to convince my fiance of is, we'll have great time in the car on the way. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. There's tons of stuff to do. Especially now that you don't have to seek out radio stations. You can listen to YouTube or you can throw on whatever. Like,
dude,
it's a lot easier.
I mean, that you got to have that, because here's the thing with me is like I don't have any of that like connective stuff. So for my phone, I just have to listen to the radio stations. When you're going through Kansas and stuff, oh my God, what a nightmare, right? Like God, like what? I don't know if you guys have ever been on this track, but if you take I-70 through Kansas, you guys want to hear the worst radio stations in the nation. Like, that's where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. You got to check it out. It is bad, bad, bad.
Yeah, we took 35 through there. And, I was very happy that we had the satellite radio.
Yeah.
What else we got? Elfie says I never meant it like that, but I get it. Yeah, but you just don't need to kick yourself, man. We all have a lot of love for you. I love what you're doing, or else I wouldn't work with you. And I do. I'm editing 2 of his books, so keep at it. Keep doing what you do. You're doing great. Wendy says art in any form is subjective. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Manell is easy to please. We like that. And he's loving the Wolverine piece, by the way.
That's great, because at the moment I'm hating it.
Wendy says, unfortunately, all of us seek some sort of validation. You will get it from at least one person, and sometimes that has to be enough. If your work is not validated, well, then try again. You know what, though? At least try to validate it yourself. Like do it. Mm-hmm. Do it for you.
Do it for you.
Yeah. Brian asks, what do you feel are the most difficult things for you to draw?
Honestly, hands and feet. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like I'm not trying to be cliche when I say that, but hands and feet are a beast all to themselves, because when you draw them in different angles, it's not like a face where a face always looks like a face. Like a hand, you can, change a direction of a finger, and all of a sudden the rest of the hand changes with it. Like, it's a completely different form. And when you're talking about form, every drawing starts with a form. You know what I mean? So that's why hands and feet can be difficult. I love drawing women. Robots like Transformers can be tough sometimes if you don't have a ruler, especially.
Yeah.
God, what else? Horses can be tough to draw as well. That's another one that I have problems with. Different mammals are usually pretty easy, but horses seem to be rather tough.
Yeah. I can. You know what? All of those feel like just naturally tough things to deal with. So I totally agree with you. What do we got? Yeah, Wendy says West Texas. If you don't have something other than radio, you're going through hours of silence. I've heard that.
Oh yeah, West Texas. She's totally right on that one. There was one radio station, and I can't remember like what it was. And I love the old country stations when we can pick them up. That's my favorite. Is like the 20s country stuff.
Okay.
When we get that, because it's just, there's a feel about it. It's just crazy, right? Like so. When we ran into that radio station, I was able to listen to it for like, I don't know, like an hour, and that got me through at least a little bit. But other than that, Kansas is the worst, man.
I can totally understand that. Alfie's wondering if you ever use references.
Absolutely. So I'm not always doing drawings like this. So when you see me do the realistic drawings, I am totally looking at a picture while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? This one's different. Wolverine I've drawn about 20 times, I'd say, just this year. Wolverine is probably a character I've drawn like 100 times in my life, I'd say. So you just you remember, like Boba Fett. If anybody ever asked me for Boba Fett at a show, you're in good shape. Because like Boba Fett's the one I remember how to do since 2015. And Darth Vader, same thing. Yeah, those and characters that you've drawn before, you tend to be able to just pick it right back up, and it should feel like doing a spelling bee or a math question, and you should just be able to do it again. You know what I mean? And so that's I try not to draw too many celebrities more than once, with the exception of, say, the dude from The Boys, because that dude's pretty damn cool. That was in Star Trek. Kind of forgot his name.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about.
Carl Irvin. I've drawn him twice.
Well, but he changes his look so much when he goes from one thing to the other.
Yes, yeah, he does. Like, remember
so it's so easy to redraw him.
He was in the Vin Diesel movie, Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick. Like, he looks completely different there, like, than he does anywhere else.
Well, and then in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
So much different.
Oh, and then Xena Warrior Princess, ladies and gentlemen, he was also in that back in the day.
Was he in Xena back in the day?
Dude, and wait till you see what he looks like there when you get a chance to see him.
Oh, I will definitely Google that. So I'm gonna, no one's brought this up yet, but I'm gonna focus on the writing for a little bit because that's my jam.
Okay.
How are you, like, personally? I haven't read any of your stuff yet, but I am planning on, hell, with the trade coming up, I'll probably just pick up all the Hellbringers in one shot. What kind of tools do you, or what kind of methods do you use when you're writing?
The biggest piece of advice, method-wise, that I like to give people while I'm writing, and this is just going to be a short way to answer your question without getting in too much trouble and giving away my method too much. But guys, give your characters a voice. Like, think about if you were a casting director, and who would you cast as the voice of this character? Or who would be the actor or actress of this character while you're writing the book? It helps so much because you can picture it. You can picture the character. You can picture what they're saying. You can picture their attitude. It makes it easier to write what they're saying. You know what I mean? So that's the big one.
Nice. That's really good advice, man.
Thank you.
So look at this. If you mention him, he'll show up. Mel showed up. What's going on, Mel?
What's up, Mel?
He says Mark's working on what? 3 scripts?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm on 3 scripts. I have 2 commissions I got to finish from Colorado Springs, and then we got 3 covers due by Thursday. So I'd really like to go to bed, but I know that's never going to happen. So
I'll try not to keep you up too long.
oh, hey,
Mom's in the house.
That's not what I mean, brother. Oh, what's up, Mog? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general. Like, I'd like to go to
I
bed
see.
sometime in the next 3 days, and I just don't think it's going to happen, brother. So I got to get all that stuff done.
Mog and Mel came in to check on us. Thank you so much. We're so
Guys
glad.
rock.
My wife and I are so excited to hang out with you guys in a week and a half. We're just gonna have just a little over a week and 3 days. No, I'm not counting down. Yeah, let's see you in 2 weeks, right? We're gonna have a blast, guys. I can feel it. Dallas is gonna be fantastic. Wendy is wondering if you've ever drawn Gambit. She's a huge Gambit fan.
I have. And you know what's crazy is I had them for about 2 seconds. So I did 2 sketch covers with Gambit, and they both sold the moment I posted them. But that was back in 2016. So I've only drawn him twice. Both times people loved him, and he was gone. So that was.
He might have to go again.
I haven't been doing commissions. A lot of people don't know this, but I have not been taking commissions like I used to because we've been so busy doing the books and stuff. So I haven't had a chance. You know what I mean? So I've been doing these shows, and I've got a couple. So I'm pretty excited to get back into drawing some of these old fan art characters that we used to do from back in the day. So it's kind of neat because these are the characters that we grew up with, and I always think about it. Like, I'd really rather draw Lilith and Jengar. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'd rather be drawing my girls right now, but I know at the same time that you got to have stuff like this to show off, how you draw the big time characters at the same time. So if you ever want to work for them, like, that's one of my goals and always has been, is to try to get on with the big guys as maybe a cover artist. Yeah. But other than that, man, I've accomplished my big goal in this industry, and that was just putting out Hellbringers, man. And nobody realizes, like, you don't realize until you actually do it. Because trust me, like, recently I've gotten some big work, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's amazing work, okay? And I'm very grateful. But you have to understand, nothing will ever compare to the day that Hellbringers got funded and came out. And I got it in my hand. And then got the next one in my hand. And got the next one in my hand. And got the next one in my hand. Like that's there's no better feeling in this world, guys, than seeing your book created with other artists and a team that you worked with, and you guys accomplished something together. There's nothing better.
Yeah, that first time you hold your own book, it's a high that you chase for the rest of your career, man.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally feel you there. Absolutely. Sammy comes in. What's up, Sam? How you doing, buddy? He says, what is your favorite genre to write in?
If you've read any of the Hellbringers books right now, they all fall under a genre that doesn't exist. So it's basically, it's sci-fi, it's horror, it's mystery, it's action, it's fantasy. I mean, we really have no name for what Hellbringers is. So if you want to know the truth, my friend, I'm writing in every single one of them. You know what I mean? We've even done comedy. So that's really the answer to that, is what it feels like. And if I had a favorite, like if you guys pinned me down and said, Mark, you have to put this book out for Image right now, and you have to come out with a genre of a book, what are you going to do? And I'd probably say mystery horror. I think that would probably be my absolute favorite.
Nice. So
Brian, never go wrong with that.
Right? No. So Brian says, from the writing aspect, how deep into historical accuracy do you go towards? if the stories are set in a certain time period, or are you pulling from a certain time period? So basically, like how honest with that time period do you feel you have to be?
So, the cool thing is I'm actually one of these guys that here. I'm gonna pull back for just a second so I can talk to you guys person to person here. This is one of those where when it comes to history, I try my best to do the research and pull it from the web. So, if you ever see what I do, it's kind of a process of getting like a research paper due for your history class or Western Civ 3 class in college. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. So you got to do that if you're going to write historical books. You need to at least have a clue of what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So when it comes to trying to get the history correct, and then we also we take the history, and there's times where we just kind of give it the rub just a little bit. And the reason we do that is because I know you guys have seen the Marvel What If series. Like, there are decisions that people have made and rewritten history after. You understand what I'm saying? And if you can kind of be aware in a situation where this might look a little different, it might be a little different than what history has said, maybe is what it is. And yes, I do take historical characters and I will write them in the fashion that I think they would actually have been in. Like, Nero might have not have been a crazed maniac. He was pushed to, be whoever he was in his childhood, as an emperor for Rome. And, other historians aren't going to tell you that. They're going to tell you he's a crazed maniac and give you all these, reasons why. Well, in my opinion, I think he's a villain that you can, kind of resonate with. So he's one of those, like, I might tell it a little different like that, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're pretty damn historically accurate in what we do. And then if we're not by a little bit, you got to remember this is a fantasy book. You know what I mean? And if you want to talk to me about it, be prepared who you're talking to.
Well, and you still, you can't be burdened by history either, right? At the end of the day, we're still trying to entertain. You're not necessarily doing a fucking biography. So, yeah, I absolutely feel you.
You're absolutely right on the biography thing. I will tell you guys, like, if I could and I thought it would sell, I would make historical comic books and they would be historically 100% accurate to just the time period and the rulers that did it. That would be what I would put out if I thought you guys would buy it. I just know you won't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Because I've seen throughout history people try to do this, and you look at it now. You look at the Four Corners comics, like the illustrated and stuff. You look at the old what were they? Classics Illustrated is what they were. Those were really. They were not popular, and they're still not popular, and they should be, because those were, the historical comic tales of, these first, battles or, history scenes. And, you can't get a young viewer, I think, sometimes maybe to care so much about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's fun. And actually, Mel puts it very well. He says, history is not told to us accurately. It's very biased.
And he's absolutely right.
So
and
right,
Hellbringer really, really exploits the shit out of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I think we all need to understand that and sometimes play against that bias and what would the other side look like. And yeah, absolutely. Sarah, okay, so we are starting to wind down. We've gotten over that hour mark. Sarah asked a great question, though, as we start to wind down. What research have you done that would put you on a wanted list by the authorities? I like that question, hon.
That's a really good question. I once asked where uranium was here in Colorado because I was interested in that. So that was the first one. I've asked where mining claims are that I wouldn't get arrested on and wouldn't get shot by going to or gold mining. I asked if there was any needles once in a creek that I was standing in from a homeless encampment up the street from it where I was trying to gold pan. So let's see. I might have asked once or twice when I was doing comic research how to kill somebody with a certain weapon. That way you could put it into the comic book.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I feel you there. Yeah, I think some of those we've done, and I haven't looked into uranium too much, but you know, the night's young. Ong Vu showed up. So nice to see you, Han. She said, "Looking great, Mark."
Thank you very much.
Brian Manel says, I actually have a friend who writes some historical comics set in certain time periods and around historical figures. And at the last show, she said she made bank. Lots of people bought her stuff. So that's cool. Still, yeah. I mean, it still can be very difficult, but yeah, that's cool.
I tell you what, if you're doing any shows right now and you got your own comic books or your own stuff, now's a good time to do it. So a lot of people that I knew quit that were local, I'd say about, 4 or 5 years ago, because they didn't trust in what they were doing, because nobody really wanted to buy independent books back then. They were looking more towards Marvel, DC, collecting stuff. But now the average collector is wanting to buy the stuff to read it. And so, guys, like, I watched people that, never would otherwise make shows or money at shows kill it at Colorado Springs a week and a half ago. Like, one lady came up to me and told me she made $2,000 and she never makes over $200 selling her chibi stickers. Like, wow. like that's how big shows are right now for, what we're doing. So, guys, if you're an independent creator and if you have a shred of personality, you're going to go far at a show. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, if you can talk to people, it's going to help you a ton. And when I mean that, like, you don't have to be, the charmer of all charmers. Just talk to people. You know what I mean? These people are more invested in you almost sometimes than they are your book. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't understand. Some of these people become your friends,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's certain people who I'll say it. It's not a show unless I see them. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple guys I'm like, it's not a Texas show until you've shown up. And they're like, I don't believe that. And I'm like, it's true, man. Like you're here at all the shows all the time. It's always good to see you. So yeah. No, it's true, man. There's just so many amazing fans out there. And it's your job just to connect with them.
Yep, it is. It's your job to connect with them. That's how you build your audience. You have to build your audience, and it takes forever, guys. No. It's not a short process. Like, I'm at 800 people on Instagram, and I've been doing this for 7 years. You know what I mean? I know people that have been doing this for 3 years that have, like 1 million followers on Instagram. I mean, it really doesn't matter these days what you've done, how you've done it. You know what I mean? It matters what you can do, and it matters how much you believe in yourself. Because the truth is, and they don't want you to hear this, folks, but you can do all this shit yourself. You don't have to go to a different publisher to get approved. You understand what I'm saying? You guys really want to do this? You really want to show them what you got? You go fucking do it yourself. And you know what? I'm not telling them because it's really disrespectful if you tell them to kiss your ass. You understand what I'm saying? But it's one of these things that, you want to work for these guys, so you be respectful to them. Don't ever think otherwise, okay? So don't be taking my advice and thinking that, but take my advice and realize you can do it yourself, okay? And that's the big thing everybody needs to remember.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Mel said, yeah, shows are killing it. People are dying to spend money that was burning a hole in their pockets. Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, man. Shows have been fantastic for me. So, yeah. Oh, that's Envu said. First lesson Mark taught me was relationship building. That's a good one. Yeah, absolutely. Sarah said, I found that I love Red Room and many other comics. Books 1 through 4 are going to be a trade paperback next month. Cool. I've never heard of that, but that's cool, man. What did Sam asks, what ink pens do you like to use?
Honestly, whatever's around me, brother. But my favorite of all time is the Micron .5s or Micron. I think it's is it .3 maybe. So any of the Micron brands, they tend to dry a lot faster. Faber-Castell seems to be a huge pain in the ass when it comes to drying, especially if you're going to run Copics over it afterwards. So do yourself a favor and look for a marker that is going to be good to dry with, and you can try them out at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. They have little areas where you can try them out to see which ones you like better. When it comes to Faber-Castells, they have a gray set that you can use, and you can get some really good tones on pieces that you won't otherwise see a lot of people do in the comic industry. So if you get those, you might set yourself out from others when it comes to doing your shadows and stuff.
Well, Brian had to head out, so he wanted to say thank you to both of us. So thank you, Brian. Much love. We appreciate your questions, dude. And you know what? I think I'm gonna. Mel said Micron's longtime favorite. Deso sells a cheap one that's pretty good.
And here's another one: is there's a Pentel brand that sells a like a little ink cap that you can put into a brush, and that one is fantastic. And so that one you can just, if you can master the tip of the brush and twirl it and play with it to where you can get it into like a really small point, and you start to figure that stuff out, man, the things you can do with a big brush that you otherwise have no idea that you could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to play with, man.
That's awesome, dude. Well, I really appreciate you showing up. Can you tell everyone where they can track you and your stuff down?
Oh, are we done?
I think we're just about. Why? Was there something else you want to talk about?
I mean, it's just so much fun.
I'm glad, dude. Thank you. Yeah. No, man, you know what? My eyes are burning. I'm ready to get away from a screen.
I hear that, my friend. All right, guys. You can find me at silentmayhemproductions.com. Hold on. Let's show you the Wolverine real quick we've been doing here. There's Wolverine, ladies and gents.
Let me solo layout you. There you go. That's looking good, buddy. That's Logan right there.
So anyways, guys, you can find me at silentmayhemproductions.com. You can find me at Silent Mayhem Productions on YouTube. We got our own show that we do on Wednesday nights. We got a big one tomorrow night with Joseph Michael Lenzner and Christina Deke Lenzner. It's going to be huge. So make sure to check it out. And Kickstarter, Hellbringers. Any of the books that you've seen us talk about, message me. I have like 5 copies each of all of them left. And I'm not kidding when I say that most of the time, guys. You really don't understand how limited these books are. One day people are going to be asking for these just because the cover artists were so good, and it was the lowest run they ever had on their books. But Chuck, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
I could definitely do that, guys. Well, you can find me here. You probably found me on my Facebook. You can find me on Twitter at Chucky Pin. And, of course, as I talked about at the very beginning, you can go back to the beginning and find all those great Kickstarters that Wendy put on. I got about 4 going right now, and then a bunch more happening. I know the next Cat Dad and Supermom is showing up soon, which is a fantastic kids book coming out through Scout. Oh my gosh. You know what? I can't even think right now. I just have so many things happening. But there will be a lot more coming up very soon. I know I have another one with Leanne and Gino that's coming up probably in October. And, of course, myself, Mel, Wendy, Mog, my boy Doug Brown, Chris Mad. There's going to be so many of us. We're going to take Dallas by storm. We're going to be there on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and we're going to have a blast. So we will love seeing all you guys out there. Where are you going to be next? Do you have another con showing up this year?
Yeah, I got Grand Comic-Con coming up on October 1st in Grand Island, Nebraska. That's going to be a fun show. I'm really excited. We got a guest table there, so can't beat that.
Cool.
And then we got Denver Comic-Con at the end of October, so that'll be on Halloween, which will be awesome. I got a Dynamite cover coming out in the next couple of weeks that I can't wait to tell y'all about. My career goal number 1 uno, aka can retire now and not give a shit about anything else. You know what I mean? If that was the type of guy I was. But unfortunately, I got all these Hellbringers books I got to do. You know what I mean? But I'm happy I got that knocked out of the way, dude. Because now I can just, I can, if they want me again, cool, I'm there. But at the same time, I did my thing. I got it done. Which, Alfie, if you're still listening, this is what I'm talking about. Never thought I'd have a chance of doing this before this year. All right? If I would have quit before this, I wouldn't have this chance. You understand what I'm saying?
And now it's all gravy.
It's all gravy now. All gravy afterwards. You know what I mean? And that's all I care about. It's just having fun. And that's about it.
That's it. No, I feel you, dude. Same here. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, I love doing it, man. Seriously, we will definitely do this again. Guys, I really appreciated all of you guys coming out, all your questions and everything, and hanging out with us. We really did have a great time. You know what's going on. My name's Chuck, and I give a fuck. Take care of yourselves. Be safe.